Good afternoon, CUBE community, and welcome back to Barcelona, Spain. We are here midway through day one of our 4 days of live coverage on theCUBE. My name's Savannah Peterson, joined by Dave Vellante for a just fantastic lineup. I feel like we've learned a lot already today.
Yeah, I mean, we're just getting started. Early innings, as they say.
Yeah, yeah,
or,
I know.
First half, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, period, quarter? No, yeah, yeah, exactly. This is going to be a really exciting segment. We are going to be talking about AI in sports, one of my favorite things to talk about. No one better to do it than the man of the Sevilla Football Club himself. Elias, thank you so much for spending time with us.
It is a pleasure to be here with you.
It is such a joy. Okay, but before we even get into anything, there's a very big announcement coming out today, something very new. You've been working with IBM for a while, but you get to break the news here with us on theCUBE. Tell us.
Yes, I am going to tell you, but before I am going to tell a little bit the history of why we are here.
Yes.
And why we are going to make this announcement.
Absolutely.
So, Sevilla FC is one of the most, let us say, successful football club in Europe. Mm-hmm. We are 7 times champions of the Europa League, and we are a well-known and successful club in the European football ecosystem. Why we are different? We are different for 2 things, mainly. Apart from the passion that all of us, we think that we have. Mm-hmm. We always think that we are famous because the way that we try to acquire and to identify talent. So in the last 20 years, we were famous for this. And in the last 5-6 years, we became famous for our technological vision. So from 2019, 2020, 2021, we have started our own data department, technological department, our own applications, data-driven application for football, for the game, and not only for the game. And in the last 2 years, we have been working heavily on generative AI, probably the first club, at least one of the first clubs, if not the first, in working seriously with artificial intelligence, generative one, for talent identification, in such a way that we have grown very much in maturity, in sport and in technology and in AI. And today we are going to announce our official membership in the AI Alliance. AI Alliance is a very elite club of of technological companies, top-level academical institutions. So just to say, Meta, IBM, Intel, Uber, Harvard, Cornell, CERN, EPFL, ETH in Europe. So, and Sevilla FC is the first club, better to say, the first sport institution to be part of the AI Alliance. So it is a recognition of our effort and maturity in AI and in technology. And it is also, for us, a responsibility because we, in one way or the other, we are helping to shape the AI use in sport.
Wow, so that congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's got to feel really amazing.
Now, it sounds for me, let us say, I have digested it.
Yeah, yeah.
But of course, when this start being built, and when you start understanding the impact that you have had in something that 5-6 years ago was just a good dream, for us it's a pleasure and a honor to
Absolutely.
be part of this.
Well, and you get to be pioneering. I'm so curious, because you're definitely obviously on the front lines, especially on the sporting front. What was the conversation like internally when you were deciding to make this investment in data and inevitably in AI?
This is a very interesting question because everything comes from there. So Sevilla FC, as I said before, we are well known in Europe and in the world.
I was going to say in the world, it's safe to say that.
In the world for our scouting success. So in the last 20-25 years, we have discovered good players before any other people could discover them. How this started 25 years ago? In a manpower way. So you just send a scout to competitions in which no other team sent a scout. so you could see them before any other club did it. In the moment that the most part of the clubs in Europe and in the world were able to send technical people, scout there to such a competition, you lost your edge of, let us say, competitivity against the others. So you have to, in one way or the other, you have to find a way to still having this edge to be more competitive than the others. And we decided that the way was through data and through technology. So the way is now, okay, you can send a scout to watch a player, but we are going to watch it deeper than you.
Yeah, ooh, I like that. Okay, so wait, so what does that mean, deeper?
What is the meaning of deeper? The deeper is having more information and cleaner information about the player than other clubs. This is the idea, this is the ideology, this is the mission.
So what sort of data, and now I'm just frankly curious, what sort of data indicates what's going to be a good player? If you can tell me, that might be part of your secret sauce.
You have, from my point of view, three kinds of data. The quantitative data, how old are you? How many passes you give, how many goals you give, how many goals you avoid if you are a goalkeeper. So you have thousands of given variables or metrics that tell you the quality of a player. No, the most obvious is, of course, how many goals you score,
right.
But not only.
Yeah.
Then you have the so-called categorical data. So, for example, what is your nationality? Everybody knows that Argentinian and Brazilian and Spanish are good. Other countries, they have less success in football. So categories, what is your position, what is your nationality, what is your favorite or your most skilled leg or foot. So you have a lot of also categories that you are part or not part of. And then the third one is, the third source of data is the opinions. So you or any other specialist in any field, when you have an opinion about your field, typically it's a qualified opinion. So you can be a specialist on a given field, and I am not. My opinion is less valuable than your opinion because you are the specialist. We have, in Sevilla FC, a big number of scouts that are specialists in football. So they watch a player, and they don't count the number of passes. They don't evaluate the nationality or the favorite foot of the player. They just give their opinion about the quality and the performance of the player. The human opinion.
Yeah, so the human's still in the loop.
And you can score that, though.
And what we are doing with artificial intelligence, with generative artificial intelligence, is to be able to process such an information, such a data, in the same way as we could process successfully the categorical and numerical data.
Yeah.
And you have you found that the use case for scouting is more productive, for instance, than the use case of game planning? You know, for instance, in football, you know, American football, you might think the actual in-game. Same with baseball, like Moneyball. Why is scouting such a good use case for you? Because, to tell you the truth, you could also, that depend on the values and the culture and the history of the clubs. So there are clubs or there are sports in which the game planning is fundamental. You say baseball, American football are classical sports. Other clubs in Europe, they have a very well-defined way of playing. Sevilla FC has a strong tradition in scouting. So we are building already from a tradition. So for us, was the natural answer. Where we have to proceed, where we have to maintain our edge. It is in the line in which we were always leaders. And have you found that it's helpful, more helpful bringing up young players and evaluating young players, or actually deciding how much to pay up for free agents, because free agency has changed all sports? So we have developed technologies that allow us, for example, to evaluate if a player, the value of a player is more than their actual skills or less than their actual skills, is overpriced or downpriced, the evolution of the price of a player, or for example, the age is playing an important role, or if some of their skills that cannot be measured, because age is easy to measure, but other skills like leadership are not so easy to measure. It is a psychological trait that is difficult to measure directly. So we have prepared, myself as a leader of the data department, we have made a lot of effort in order to provide the technology and to provide the machinery, in many cases AI machinery, that allow the sport directors to make all the decisions. To tell you the truth, which is the most important, which is the less important, it is in the crystal ball and the magic of the sport directors.
So, what is the technology behind all this? Can you share what you're doing? Obviously,
we have, let us say, classical data technology. We have classical, this is mainly for description, data acquisition and description. Then we have also machine learning, classical machine learning for prediction. For example, the evolution of the prices of the player, or for example, also which players are more similar to each other, which players are more compatible with a given coach. This is we are using, let us say, what people now call classical artificial intelligence. And what we are using in order to extract information for scouting reports for non-structured data is generative AI. So what we are doing de facto, because I think that the generative AI is now the most attractive one for people also, is we allow, in the past, no, not in the past, nowadays also, we can ask, give me a player that is younger than 28, score more than 15 goals, and the value is less than 20 million. This is a classical prompting or querying for structured data. But now we can also say that is a leader and play as a reference center forward, written in Spanish. So this prompt written in human language is enriched through generative AI, converted in a more, let us say, a richer prompt, a richer description in Spanish. Then it is transformed into what people in AI call vectors. And this is crossed against all or hundreds of thousands of reports of players also written in Spanish. They are now compared the meanings of the reports and the meaning of what we have enriched. And then this technology tells us which players are described by our expert having the desired skills that you introduce in your prompting.
So so you mentioned in the earlier days, people are going out and actually viewing players. Now you have this data, this IBM partnership, all of these tools. How much time do you think that saves you?
So people have, the expert, they must still watch the matches, live or in a video. This doesn't change. They still have to write their opinion about the players. This is the most important, it's the source of value. But let us suppose the following. Typically, in the past, and now also, typically every summer, because in the summer is the moment in which players are buy or sold, are changed from team to team. You had typically 100, 150 players that you are interested in, potentially. Every player that you are interested in already has a meaningful number of reports, from 30 to 50. So in the past, you had to, first of all, read all these reports. We are speaking about, let us say, 50 multiplied by 100. We are speaking already of 5,000 reports. Everyone is a full sheet of information. And then describe the player in your own words in a small summary. This took weeks, and you could do it just for a small number of players. Now,
I mean, I can't even imagine.
And also the quality is never...
The stack of paper, I'm just seeing it right now.
And finally, you end up just remembering the last and the first of the description of a player, and forgetting about the rest of 48 ones that you cannot remember.
Exactly, 100%.
And maybe the one was the 37, the good one was the 37.
Yeah.
in which you have the characteristic that you are looking for, the 37, not the 50 or the first. So now we can do it automatically for any number of players. You can have a summary with good quality of all the characteristics of the players that you are interested in. So now you don't have to just to look at 100 players, you can just look at 1,000 players without investing time. And the most important, also, you can do something that you couldn't do in the past. You can look for a kind of player that you are, for a given skill, with a given trait, and identifying to which player, in which report, in which scout, were identifying such a trait. So you, among your reservoir of football knowledge, human football knowledge, you can now identify the trait that you are interested in.
And that player might be a better fit for you, and it might be more valuable to you than another team. You might be willing to pay a little bit more for that individual. Why did you choose IBM as a partner? What's your relationship with IBM? You're a long-time customer.
I say that we are happy with the technology of IBM, but I say that the difference in our case were the people. So when people think about technology, people think about cold blue robots. But technology in many cases has a human perspective.
Yeah.
And people from IBM approached to us because, as I said before, we were becoming quite mature in technology and data in the football ecosystem. They approached to us because they think that, okay, these guys are really having a vision about technology. We want to help them with our vision and technology, and we made a good team together. And together, we had already the question that we're going to solve, that is the one that I've already explained, and they made this question their question. And they help us with a team of the so-called client engineering division. They help us they help us to push towards the answer of the question. And then they keep believing in the work that we have done together. So we have formed a kind of group of persons from IBM, from Sevilla FC, that we share vision, we share mission, and this is at least as important as the technology.
I love that you said that. I was not expecting your answer to be the people. We love the people at IBM too, but that's so great because I think sometimes we forget that, especially when we talk about AI. Like you said, we feel very removed from it, even though it's in our hands. But having the right partners and the right players is what makes a great team.
You should have the technology, you should have the knowledge, but given technology, given knowledge, is the people.
That's what I'm talking about.
Both in your organization and in any other organization. So because it is so important to have the right people with the right values together, working together with you.
Absolutely. So last question, last question for you. What's next? What do you hope to be able to say when we get to hang out at next MWC in 2026 that you can't yet say today?
I want to say that we don't want to stop here.
Yeah, baby.
And as I say, we have already applied technology, data, science, in many fields, not just in scouting. We have also in B2B, in fan engagement, in also fan description and identification, in ticketing. We have also inside of Sevilla FC built solutions based on this, but I think that still the generative AI has to land in all the other fields of football. So a football club is something very complex. You have ticketing department, you have retail department, you have B2B sponsorship department, you have football department, you have communication department.
You have merchandise.
I mean, there's a lot of businesses within one. Yeah.
Exactly, merchandise department. And in all these departments, you can build bridges between this department and what is happening in the economy, in other fields. Because, for example, our retail department has to acquire technology and vision and ideas from big retailers.
Yeah.
And what we want to do is now to land AI technology from big verticals, from other big sectors, to apply to our sectors of retail, B2B, sponsorships, ticketing, etc. We want to also to push the next generation of technology, AI technology, also there.
Yeah, the fan experience, I think it's going to be really interesting. Okay, I lied, I have one more question for you. How do the players feel about all of this? Are they curious about it? Do they like that they get an AI score?
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I think, football, as any other professional sport, is very demanding.
Yeah.
In terms of the attention that you have to focus on your own performance, the performance of the team. But I think that in the moment, there is already for the last 10 years, 15 years, the football is gamified in terms of computer games. Mm-hmm. So I think that for the football player, it's natural to see how the technology is evaluating them, because they are already seeing that for the last 20 years in the computer games. So they know what are they scoring, they know
interesting.
What is their value, and they play computer games among each other.
I was not expecting that answer.
In one way or the other way, natural.
That is so
great.
cool.
Wow.
So the gamification of the game prepared them for this AI moment. That is so meta and so cool.
I think it's
amazing story. I mean, there's such a fine line between good and great in sports.
Oh, fingernail.
It's awesome to see technology maybe changing that equation a little bit,
Exactly.
and it's constantly moving, so you have to stay ahead. Thanks for coming on, it was great.
Yeah, Elias, thank you so much. This was really spectacular. Good luck to the football club. And we can't wait to hear what you're doing next and how this all plays out for the fan experience. Ooh, I'm just excited. Thank you.
Thank you very much, a pleasure.
And thank all of you for tuning in wherever you might be. Dave and I are here in Barcelona, Spain. It's day one of Mobile World Congress. My name's Savannah Peterson. You're watching theCUBE, the leading source for enterprise tech news.